Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SADGA Podcast and a very, very special episode tonight with the SADGA Provincial Challenge captains from Team North, Joseph Phiri, and from Team South, Pieter Verwey. How are you guys doing tonight?
Very well, yourself, Craig?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, all good, Craig. Yeah.
So, very, very cool year of the Provincial Challenge coming up with a change in format. What are your guys' thoughts on the changes that have been made, and how do you think it will enhance the profile of the event? Sorry,
if I can go first.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So no, I mean it's I've been part of this since the inception of the challenge, and I think it's a brilliant idea to change it up a bit. Just changing it from a 9-hole 2-ball scramble drive on the one day, which is the Friday, then 9 holes of foursomes, 9 holes of better ball, and then Sunday playing singles. Just gives everybody a bit more to think about. And I also think it's a great idea just to get those creative juices flowing. And with it being a team event, it's a lot to think about when you do your pairings as well.
Yeah. Joe, how do you feel your role as captain will change with the change in format?
Not much. I guess I'll have to plan better. And as Peter said, it's no longer now a game whereby you're chasing over 18 holes, but every single hole counts, and every hole will be very important. So you got to be careful how you approach. You got to be careful that you don't fall far behind, because there's not many holes to actually try and catch up on. So yeah, it really, if I may put it, puts a lot of stress on us as captains. I don't know about Peter because he's been there forever. It was my first year last year, and and to change things up so quickly after we think we've won, and I guess maybe we shouldn't have won. The format would have stayed the same.
Yeah, so that's actually quite an interesting point that you raised. So, I mean, what do you feel your team would need to do well this year to retain the trophy?
Well, first of all, we playing in a very different climate. We're not used to wind. That's the first thing we're gonna try and adjust to. And if you let that get into your head, you try and play shots you've never played before. So I guess the most important thing for us is to try and actually deal with what we've got at hand. Try not to change anything, because most of us, especially inland players, as soon as you go play coastal, then you try and hit all these funny shots, and before you know it, your game is gone, and it gets even more frustrating. So we got to try and work on actually being composed throughout the whole entire tournament.
And Peter, obviously, you guys essentially have something of a home course advantage, having Christo in your side, who's a member at Uitenhage. I mean, how much do you think you'll sort of lean on him for advice on how to approach the course and the advice to give the players?
No, so without a doubt, we're looking forward to see the guys up north play in what we call a light breeze and they call a hurricane. It's good to have Chris in our team. Obviously, he's going to give us some insight into local course conditions. But if I just look back at previous challenges, if I'm correct, the last time we played at home was 2011, and we actually won that one. So we're unbeaten at home, which is something to look at. But we play the conditions like any other team would. So I think the format and the quality of the teams that have been selected is going to be a great leveler. So
yeah. And you made it quite clear, sort of, when the teams were announced, that Trevor Reif is going to play quite an integral role in your team dynamic. And you've sort of named him as your unofficial sort of playing captain. What do you foresee his role within the team setup being, and what do you think he'll bring to the table?
Well, so Trevor's been with us from the Provincial Challenge right from the start, and for me, he just embodies my whole idea that I want every single player to be an ambassador. And ambassador for me is someone that has got a presence, even if they're not physically present. So from that point of view, Trevor for me is a great team leader. And we've got a few novices in the squad again, like every year. And I would look towards him to bring a calming effect to the guys. That is what I would say. Some of the other players that have been around for a very long time will say, I did it because I probably see him like a James Small. For those who know the legend that James Small was, quite often some of your naughtiest guys you give leadership roles. And but no, on a serious note, Trev changed a lot of things in his game in the last 2-3 years that has seen his golf improve dramatically. And we've had some tough discussions during those times, and he stood up and take charge. And that's what I need to see in all my ambassadors and leaders within the squad.
And Joe, I mean, have you identified anyone within your own group of players who you view as like someone similar, as like a playing captain?
Yeah, definitely. You know, a guy like Johan, he does a lot for the guys, and all the guys look up to him. You know, he tries and bring, I mean, all the communication, he centralized everything with all the players. And, you know, having him there, you know, does boost the morale of the players.
Yeah, and I suppose it also takes some of the pressure off you, because he helps with the coordination and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure he'll have a few words about who he thinks would match up well together within or during the weekend. But
that's been his biggest worry, and I try and say to him, that's the last thing to worry about, you know. You know, on a good day, any player can beat any player, you know, especially in match play, you know. You can't. 100%. There's no given, you know.
But Pieter, what goes into, like, when you are now trying to figure out who to pair with whom? I mean, are you going to have any specific criteria that you look at in terms of, like, maybe their personality traits or the characteristics of their respective games? Do you have any thoughts on what you may look at?
I don't know how much I can give you with Joe on the line. I don't want to give away our secret. No. So all jokes aside, so this year what makes it special is you've got to think about the guys that are going to play together in the 2-ball scramble, as one example. It's not just a question of just putting names in a hat. So that's the one thing where I think you've got a strategic cap to wear as a non-playing captain, where you've got control at least over it as well. The difficult bit comes in when we look at the pairings when North plays against South, because I'd like to think that I know Joseph's team, but I don't know who he's going to pull out of the hat to pair against my guys. And that's where it's the beauty about match play and the beauty about the format that has been put together, is there's going to be some surprises coming up in pairings. But I think the emphasis is going to be on making sure that where we've got these unique formats, that at least I would say control the controllables. Yeah.
And I mean, I think we may have chatted a bit before we went live, but Joe, what role do you think sort of physical and mental stamina is going to play within the event? Because it's quite a long, when all said and done, it will have been quite a long 4 days. How do you see yourself sort of managing your players in terms of, let's say for argument's sake, a combination starts well and wins on the Friday? Are you likely to then send them out again on the Saturday, or have you got any thoughts on that?
Like Pieter says, you want me to give away my secrets, but should we maybe have, if we get lucky, have a head start on the Friday? I'm more likely to keep the teams the same. The good thing about this is we are allowed to actually swap players during the round. Maybe after the next round, I might actually change them around if things aren't going our way. We've got 3 nanos to play, And then I think where it matters the most will be the singles, because there's a lot of points to play for that. Yeah. And the other thing is, it's for the first time we've had the players with an index of higher than 18. Don't rule them out. At the end of the day, the match might come to those players. So as opposed to last year, whereby we only played 36 holes, and this year we're playing more rounds. It's going to take a lot out of them. It drains them mentally, and the more you think about every shot, the more you worry about every shot. You get tired and you don't realize it. So, I guess we'll have to take it each day as it comes. Whatever the outcomes, tomorrow forget about it. Let's start afresh.
Yeah. And Pieter, one of your sort of higher handicappers who I think will actually end up playing quite a pivotal role is our esteemed executive director, Craig Mogas. What do you foresee his? I mean, do you think he'll rise to the competitive challenge, or do you think the last few years on the sidelines will sort of catch up to him?
No, we've put him through spaces already just in some of the training camps we've had in the broader group. Look, for me, Craig has always hinted that he wants to be part of the Team South. We've got a very rich history, 70% win rate since 2011. And yes, Joseph, I know you will remind me you're as good as your last game, winning the last one. But Craig, for me, the big thing with Craig is that he just took it on himself to improve his game. Asked me quite often, what will it take to be in this specific team? And I just said to him, let your golf do the talking. So yes, playing at the challenge, slightly different environment to just playing a round of golf with your friends. But by all means, I think he'll step up to it. He's got some true ambassadors and guys with a lot of history that can back him.
Yeah. And I think also just his general competitive spirit. I mean, also playing wheelchair basketball and stuff and being involved in that space, I think that'll also stand him in good stead as well. And obviously,
when it comes to tournament environment, he's seen it all.
Yeah, no, 100%. So obviously, we've seen with many Ryder Cups in recent years that anything can happen on the singles days. I mean, have you guys got any thoughts? Maybe like in terms of maybe seeing how Ryder Cup captains, for example, have sort of panned out their playing order. Have you like in terms of maybe leaving a few big guns towards the end, or trying to get your points early? Have you got any thoughts on how you may approach that?
Craig, it'll come to the points difference in the final day.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? It'll come to the points difference on the final round, and you can have your good guys in the middle, you can have your average guys starting, and like I said, in match play, a lot can happen. It's just the guy who comes out best on the day. Remember, on match play, I mean, you're not playing stroke play. You take each hole as it comes. So if you win early and you're able to hold on to your lead, that might win as a match.
And Pieter, do you have anything to add there?
I think we've lost Pieter.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a lag. I think he's
sorry.
No, I said, do you have anything to add to what Joe was saying about how he may approach things?
Yeah, so if you can hear me, there's a bit of a lag in the Cape Town side of the world. Okay.
Yeah.
No, so.
Oh, cheapest. Okay. Well, I'm sure he'll add himself back to the stream fairly soon. But Joe, just quickly, do you sort of feel like the pressure's sort of on you to help your guys defend, or and girl, obviously Charlene's in the team as well, but do you feel that the pressure's on you guys to rise to the occasion of the title defense, or do you think it's on Team South to try and win the trophy back?
Well, definitely the pressure is on us. Having played this event for such a long time, and Team North having not won this previously, and having won for the first time last year, we have a huge amount of pressure on us. Both from our guys and Team South. I mean, Team South came last year to us with the mindset that, well, we're going to do the usual, and the usual turned out to be the unusual. And so our guys are like, you did it last year, you still can't do it. So it's up to us to actually try as players to how do we handle the pressure. If we put ourselves too much under pressure, then it might actually work against us. So we have to try firstly to deal with the pressure, because we have a lot of it. And there's a lot of expectation from us. So we, at the end of the day, we expected to deliver and bring the trophy back, which is not going to be easy.
And Pieter, now that we've got you back, just going back to that question of how you may sort of send your guys out, will that sort of be dictated by the scenario you find yourself in after 2 days? Or, I mean, do you have any thoughts there?
To a degree. Yeah, to a degree it will. I share Joseph's views on it, that the status towards the end will dictate what we actually decide on the last day. But that's the beauty about this format, is there will be some surprises, and there will be some pairings that are going to have a very interesting outcome. And history has got a lovely way of repeating itself, and I echo Joseph's sentiment. Watch our high handicappers. We've won some of these challenges historically with handicap golfers that have index difference of 12 to 13 versus the guy that they've played. So watch this space, I would say, with those high handicappers.
Yeah. So just finally, for both of you guys, I mean, now that the teams have been named and you can start preparations in earnest, I mean, have you guys started preparations, and what do those look like? Pieter, let's start with you, and then we can ask Joe.
Yeah, so again, I'll be very selective in the info, but no, there's, I think, like anything from a SADGA point of view, we are guys to play as much golf as they can, and we want to mimic tournament environment for them. So there's a lot of prep going on. There's definitely some training sessions that are being put in place. And I also want to commend Joseph and his team. We've seen them probably more than ever doing a lot of prep work leading up to the Provincial Challenge, which for me, as someone that's been involved in this for a very long time, it's encouraging to see, and I want to commend them for that. But I also want to say they're going to need it, because we're ready. We dipped to 70% win rate, and the people that know me know that I love playing golf, but probably the only thing I like more than playing golf is winning at golf. So we'll definitely be rocking up ready and well prepared.
For most of that answer there, I thought you were like flattering Joe there, and I thought, that's actually quite nice. And then you sort of took it on a completely different direction towards the end.
Yeah.
But Joe, from your side, I mean, so you guys, I presume, have started preparation and started thinking about how you're going to approach practice?
Yes. We have plan in place, which I won't disclose, sorry, Pieter. And like I said, the first thing will be to attend to the mental side of it. How do we approach this? We go in there as underdogs, which is a very good thing. We don't expect to win like last year. So not that we go in there to lose. No, definitely not. We want to win. But it's nice to be seen as losers and you come out victorious, because whether win or lose, the most that matters the most is the spirit of the team. the togetherness. You know, it's nice to see everyone come together. And at the end of the day, we don't want guys blaming each other on the golf course. We all make mistakes. We gotta live with that. You make a mistake, sorry, carry on. Forget about the whole you messed up, carry on. Think about the next hole.
Yeah.
So we'll be working on those smaller things. Really, it's as when it comes to the conditions, like Peter says, for them it's just a breeze. For us, it's wind. Because we're not used to wind here. We have breeze here, proper breeze inside. So we have to try and adjust to that, and forget about trying some difficult shots. Play the game that we played this side. Maybe if need be, hit 3 clubs more, and just deal with it as it comes.
Yeah. And finally, I'm gonna ask you guys to predict not a score necessarily, but how many points do you think will separate you guys when all is said and done? Pieter, let's hear from you first.
Well, I think it will probably be down to 2 or 3 of the singles matches. If anything more than that, I would be surprised. But I think 2 to 3 of the single matches is gonna make or break it for a team.
Mm. And yourself, Joe?
Well thought, Peter. Yeah, it's gonna be the same probably. Your last three matches will actually matter the most. Mm. It won't be a walk in the park now. Definitely not.
Well, thanks so much for your time, guys, and best of luck. And we'll have to record a reaction podcast in the first few days after the result. But best of luck with preparation, and we'll see how everything goes for you guys.
Yeah, good luck to you, Peter, and thank you, Craig.
I think it's lagging a bit for him again.
Joseph, and thank you, Craig.
Cool, guys. Cheers. Thanks again.
Cheers. Thank you. All right.